And most companies are happy to give a giant royalty on an absurd sales level because they're not worried. If they're selling $10 billion worth of a product, they'll be happy to give you a third of it. But they don't get punished for it if they're only selling $100 million of the product because you've got a tiered royalty.
That helps a lot. I also have one more question. Again, our scenario where we're a big pharmaceutical company, got a product in phase 3, and we've spent considerable dollars on it so far. Let's say it's worth a particular value to us if we were to hold it, call that $3 billion. Would I be interested in licensing that product if I were to only achieve, say, 2/3 of the value if I were to license it compared to holding it and I'd receive the entire value?
That's the $3 billion question, absolutely, and that's the tension, right? The question is, can you actually, if it's let's say you figured out it's worth $3 billion, can you actually realize the value? And that's the challenge. Is your organization able to do it, and able to do it as successfully as a potential large pharma partner or acquirer? And so that's where the challenge is. I think that you have a hard time, if you're not yet approved and not yet actually having sales, you'll have a hard time doing this to pure asset purchase. There are a lot, globally, there's so many commercial uncertainties that I think it's hard to, until you're actually in the market, to just sort of outright sell something. It depends on the particulars of therapeutic areas and products, of course. So then you're going to think the money's going to stream in a more distributed sense. But you didn't have to do it yourself. And so that's where you as an organization have to figure out, can we execute? Can we realize all that value on our own, or do we need help for it?
Right. So say if we decided that we were completely capable and had all the resources and cash available to do this, to take it to regulatory approval and launch, and again, it was worth $3 billion in our minds at the nearing the end of phase 3. Is there any reason that we would want to license it at that point?
It kills me to say this as a deal guy, but I'd say no. If you can do it, you've got the ability to launch it and sell it, and you think your sales force is as good as anybody else's at selling that, and your ability to secure pricing and reimbursement, across multiple countries globally, if you think you can do all that, then you should.
Great. And would that be the, let's say that I did choose to, apart from your advice there, let's say if I did choose to license it, would I want the deal terms of that license to be worth the $3 billion that it's worth to me?
The current value, if the current value is $3 billion, like from now going forward, then you would want to see that if someone's taking it over entirely, you're going to want to see, I'd say you're going to they need to have some value. So you're going to need to sell them on giving them some value. So, you're probably going to be, as I said, the 2/3 retention on it, because no one's going to buy it if they don't actually make some profit on it.
Right.
So I think that you're probably hoping for 2/3. Yeah.
I get that. Let's say if they did buy it for the $3 billion and that gave me 100% of the deal terms, would they not also be entitled to a return equal to their WACC, or to the WACC at which that $3 billion was derived? Because if they buy it at $3 billion, which is the present value of all future benefits, and then let's say that the